Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan Proft here. And CBS Chicago reporting that of the more than 600 individuals detained by ICE in Chicago, only 16 have criminal histories. That's what they're saying. Criminal histories that would be in addition to coming to this country illegally, because, of course, the Chicago Press Corps doesn't count that as a crime, even though federal law does. In addition to that, we have the accusation from ProPublica that the apartment raid, that South Shore apartment raid, which was allegedly an interdiction of at least some Tren de Aragua gangbangers. Not a single person who was arrested has been charged with a crime. This is ProPublica. And these two items are being circulated over the last several days, whipping the left into a frenzy, the open borders crowd into a frenzy to say, sort of the see, we told you. ProPublica investigation found little evidence to support the government's claims. ProPublica has discovered the names of 21 of the detained Venezuelan men and women and interviewed 12 of them. We also spoke with dozens of their relatives, friends, and neighbors. We reviewed public record databases and court websites, examined our court documents, social media accounts, blah, blah, blah. Federal prosecutors have not filed criminal charges against anyone who was arrested, nor have they revealed any evidence showing that two immigrants arrested in the building belonged to the TDA gang, Tren de Aragua, or even provided their names. And the one that ProPublica was able to identify allegedly claims that he is not a gang member. And, of course, ProPublica is happy to just take his word for it. So, we want to get responses to these accusations from those in the know so that people can disseminate these responses, because prepared statements from Tricia McLaughlin to local network affiliates in Chicago and the daily newspapers of the legacy media, that's not going to cut it. Those stories are so propagandized that, a statement that's excerpted to, quote unquote, give the other side just doesn't pierce through, does it? So for more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Sam Olson, who is the director of the ICE field office in Chicago. Sam, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
Tackle those two for you, will you? For us, I should say, will you? The of the 600. I mean, this was a report out over the weekend, but the other data I've seen from DHS is that you've apprehended a lot more than 600 at Operation Midway Blitz. But they said 16 of the 600 they looked at, CBS, only 16 had criminal records in addition to being here illegally. And then, of course, the South Shore apartment complex raid as well, if you could address those.
Sure. Well, the South Shore apartment complex, that wasn't an ICE operation. That was Border Patrol, so I won't be able to speak a lot on that.
Okay.
But getting back to kind of what was released, on these 600, right? While there is some pending litigation on that, so I'm not going to get too deep into it. But this is, we have to remember, this is just a subset of some of the arrests that we made. While ICE hasn't put out formal numbers yet, but I can say since the start of Midway Blitz, we've arrested over 4,000 here in Chicago. And, of course, not everybody we arrest is going to have a criminal history. But that's who we are looking for. We're looking for the worst of the worst. And unfortunately, because of some of the laws that are here within the state of Illinois, we can't get those that have some kind of criminal history right from the jail or even right from an Illinois prison. Because we're prohibited from doing that, so we have to do the at-large enforcement operations where we're bound to encounter people that, while they might not have a criminal history, like you said, are still here illegally. So they're still breaking federal immigration law by being here. And we're just not going to, turn a blind eye to a lot of those people. And kind of further to go into that, too, there's certain cases, while they may not have an actual criminal history here in the U.S., they have criminal histories elsewhere. And just by our U.S. immigration law, that we are mandated to take an action. There's a lot of people that we have here, close to 100,000, that have final orders of removal, right, that have seen an immigration judge. The judge has ordered removal from the United States. So by law, my officers are mandated to arrest and detain them and effect their removal from the U.S.
Can you give us a sense of the proportion? I know the number that's been thrown around by Tom Homan and others, that's basically around 70% of the people apprehended by ICE nationally have charges pending or a criminal conviction in addition to being here illegally. So just into 4,000, that's a lot more than I understood that you had apprehended here in Chicago. And I saw there was a release that DHS put out last week, November 12th, that provided some data on violent crime in Chicago being down since the start of Midway Blitz. And you have some thumbnails on about 10 or so people that you apprehended who have extensive criminal records. But I'm just trying to get like a sense of it and when we can get, sort of the full view into all the people with that pose public safety threats, so that we can really, inform the conversation that's out there that is being stilted by the press corps and the politicians in the city.
Right, and I think that is probably pretty close, what Mr. Holman says, on the people that do have some sort of criminal history. Because, again, if we're looking at just, I think we have to really just be careful on how we're defining criminal history, too, and what constitutes that, right? We have a lot of people that are, known or suspected terrorists, that are members of a gang, where they might not have some criminal conviction or even an arrest on there, but there's information that we have that shows that they are public safety threats or even national security threats. There are a lot of people that we arrest that have some sort of criminal history in their country where they're from. Some countries kind of cooperate and give us that information, while others do not, right? So there's just a lot of people that we don't have a lot of information on. And so while we are out there targeting the ones that either have final orders of removal or have some type of criminal history in the U.S., we're bound to encounter other people. I've said it before, too, like if I could focus all of the resources that we have here in Chicago in just arresting those people that were arrested by, the locals or the state, if we could get them coming out of, Cook County Jail or even the Illinois State Prison, I would focus all resources on that. Unfortunately, there isn't that cooperation. So anybody that is illegal that gets arrested by Cook County or anywhere in the state, right, we don't get notification when they're being released from that jail. So then, therefore, they're back out in the streets, and that's what we have to dedicate our resources to. And that's when, of course, we encounter those that might be here illegally. I don't want to say just illegally, right, because they're here illegally. And I think that's something else that we have to hit on, too, that, it seems like we're, a lot of my officers are vilified for the work that we're doing, but what we're doing also is not a secret, right? I think that, Tom Homan was here in January saying this is what we're going to do. The administration has said that since before they even took office, that we are going to be out enforcing immigration law. Now, there is the CBP Home app where people can kind of take control of their situation and kind of go home on their terms, and that's what I recommend that they do because, again, I think that we've been transparent throughout, saying if you're here illegally, we're going to enforce the law and you may be arrested.
And so, but I mean, just to restate for clarity, so of the 4,000 you guys have apprehended, you would say, I mean, again, this is an approximation, that 70% of those are public safety threats. I mean, either affiliated with a gang, serious criminal charges in their home country, and then obviously serious criminal charges or convictions here. I mean, terrorist organization affiliations and so forth as well. That's what you're saying.
I mean, I can't say that, yes, 70% of this number is generally the people that ICE is going after. Again, this 4,000 that we arrested, that's some that ICE arrested, and that was also when the U.S. Border Patrol was here as well. Okay. Again, the way we each conduct business is a little bit different. While ICE focuses, on more of this target enforcement, Border Patrol does it, in a different way, all with the same mission in mind, to arrest those that are violating our immigration laws.
Yeah, you probably saw this sting that was done in Nassau County, New York, where they arrested 7 DMV employees for frauding the CDL license issuance program in New York. And, of course, we've seen these high-profile big rig accidents where people in this country illegally who frauded their way to a CDL license kill people in Florida and California and elsewhere. And I wonder, is there any overture made by ICE or ICE in conjunction with CBP to a Brandon Johnson or to a J.B. Pritzker, to politicians in Illinois, and say, you know what, I know you disagree with us on this, but you run around pretending that you want to take public safety threats off the streets and out of this country if they're here illegally. Well, why don't you work with us on a sting with respect to looking at CDL license issuances in Illinois? Or why don't you work with us on something here where it's obvious and we've got all the details that these are gangbangers or the violent criminals? Here's their rap sheets, that sort of thing. Are there overtures made and they're just rejected, or is there just no communication whatsoever?
There just hasn't been a lot of communication, and that's something that I would love to do. I would love to sit with everybody and try to at least carve out something that we can do, whether it be, cooperation just on, the violent criminals, cooperation, like you say, just on some of these ones that are kind of abusing the commercial vehicle system. Part of Midway Blitz, we did the commercial vehicle operations in Northwest Indiana. We arrested over 240 people, illegal aliens driving big rigs during that operation. I mean, and that wasn't even the entire length of Midway Blitz. That was just a brief snapshot of what we did there. So, I mean, it's a problem everywhere. I think we're doing this in a lot of states. And I think where we're seeing the most cooperation, we're going to see actually the biggest benefit to public safety. Going back to those that have been apprehended that fit that category of public safety threat, is there going to be more information, or is there a site or somewhere where people can get information? I'm looking to try to get profiles on the people that have been apprehended by ICE so that they can share them and say, I'm sorry that a Hanover Park police officer was ensnared in this, but he also shouldn't have overstayed his visa by a decade, and he shouldn't have been a Hanover Park police officer. So to provide proportion to the discussion, to say, look at all these individuals that they're removing from our street that objectively pose public safety threats given their past behavior and perhaps current behavior in terms of pending charges. And I just think that informs the discussion so much more, as the stories we can tell, the evidence that we can present. No, and I agree. And ICE is working, and they have also posted their worst of the worst on the ICE.gov website. And I know that they're working to continue to expand that, just so we can kind of show, those that we are arresting. Well, again, we're not going to shy away from anyone who is here illegally, but there are some significant public safety threats that we are arresting. I mean, just yesterday here in Chicago, we arrested somebody that had convictions for retail theft and child abduction and luring a child that was less than 17. So again, that was just one case that we got yesterday here in Chicago. And those cases are happening every day.
Something else I wanted to get your reaction to, because I didn't really have an appreciation for this before I saw the New York Post story, but fake ICE arrests, AI generated. There's a site that they focused in on called USA Journey 897, which is just incubating all these, incendiary fake ICE arrests of people pulling of ICE officers, pulling a father or mother from their kids or roughing somebody up, but they're completely AI generated. Listen to this report.
Hey, baby, let me go!
Ma'am, stop resisting. Keep moving.
You can't take me from her, please. She's right there. Don't do this. She's just a baby.
Get her in the vehicle.
Videos on social media sites like Facebook show intense dramatic scenes of federal agents detaining migrants, many of which are racking up hundreds of thousands of views each. The catch? They're fake and made by AI. The latest in the scary trend of videos created by artificial intelligence can be prominently seen on the Facebook account USA Journey 897. The account, which was flagged by independent researcher Chad Loader to 404 Media, a journalist-founded organization focusing on digital media, features dozens of AI-generated videos of the same theme. Many of the AI videos posted by the page show workers at prominent U.S. chains like McDonald's or Walmart being ushered into vans by federal agents as they plead to see their kids. Others show mothers and fathers being emotionally ripped away from their weeping children as officers coldly instruct the parents to put their hands behind their back. The videos, which are garnering tens, even hundreds of thousands of views, do not bear an AI watermark, but all display the same superimposed text, reading deportation, along with emojis and a pair of American flags. While some of the videos note in their captions that they are created by AI for, quote, entertainment and creative purposes only, many do not, leaving viewers who don't know any better to discern their validity for themselves.
I mean, is this something that ICE needs to raise the profile on and discuss publicly so people know that they're, these are professional agitators trying to demonize ICE by completely caricaturing what's actually happening?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate when we see those things. I mean, right now, even here locally, we have a team kind of set up. It's like our joint operations center, where essentially we're going through and trying to respond to, with our Office of Public Affairs to some of these, videos that are coming out to say, like, hey, was ICE in this area? Was this true? And unfortunately, a lot of times it wasn't us. And so we are trying to put things in place where we can kind of get out there ahead of these to say that these aren't happening. Because what's happening is that, this is inflaming a lot of people, further kind of villainizing our officers. And now when our officers go out, we see them not only having to deal with, trying to arrest somebody here that might not want to be arrested, but then again, just like the public, the bystanders coming in to make the situation even more dangerous. So yeah, it's very frustrating to see that these are out there.
He is Sam Olson. He is the director of the ICE field office in Chicago. Sam, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
And Sam joined us on the Turnkey.Pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you are 65 or older, you know this. Inflation is hitting everyone hard right now, especially when it comes to health care. Over the last 10 years, health care costs have skyrocketed by, get this, 200